Hi, everyone. This is Karen Hooley, and welcome to this week's edition of the Team Whooleygan live chat. I hope you guys are all having a great week. And for those of you who are watching for the first time or watching this after the fact, I just wanted to let you guys know that you can find out everything there is about me and Karen Hooley Designs at my website. And you can go to http://karenhooley.com and find out everything about my classes, my books, my patterns. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. If you want a direct link to my newsletter subscription, go to www.karenhooley.com/subscribe, and that'll immediately bring you to the subscription link. All newsletter subscribers get 25% off all newly released patterns, and I have a new pattern coming out next month and in November as well. So there's going to be a chance to get a discount on 2 new patterns before the end of the year. And then also you will be the first to know about new features and new books, patterns, everything else. And you'll get the biggest discount. So make sure you subscribe. If you're not watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link's right there at the bottom of the screen. And you can also hit the thumbs up if you would like to. I would really appreciate it if you did. The thumbs up allows the algorithm to send my videos to more people. So make sure you hit that thumbs up when you're watching the videos. You can also watch on Rumble after the fact. I cannot live stream to Rumble. So if you would like to watch the videos after the fact, go ahead and go to my Rumble channel. That's the link right there below. Rumble actually has far exceeded now my YouTube subscribers. So if you would like to check that out, that would be great. Also, make sure you hit the Rumble button as well, because the more times you hit the Rumble button, the more people see my videos there. You can also follow me on Instagram at Karen Hooley. There's been a little bit of activity, a little bit more. I'm hoping today to do a live video there as well. Excuse me, guys. I'm having issues this morning. Anyway, you can check out my Instagram. Instagram's where I'm usually the most active. And if you're watching this, if you're not watching this on Facebook, go ahead and check out my Facebook page. There's the link there at the bottom of the screen as well. I live stream simultaneously to Facebook and to YouTube. Sorry, guys, I'm having a morning. So make sure you check out Karen Hooley Official on Facebook. And I've been posting there a little bit more lately, so check that out as well. So I'm going to head over to the chat and see who's here. Let's see. Daisy's still under the bed. Hi, Linda. She just likes to hide when I'm on, I guess. Is it the computer that's the computer's talking to her or something? That's too funny. Hi, Pat. Good morning. It's good to see you. And Renee, good morning. And Andrea, good morning. I'm glad you guys are here. Good to see you guys. I'm going to take that banner off the bottom of the screen there. Hang on. Okay. So before we get started, I know a lot of you have been waiting to hear. Yesterday morning, I went to see my urologist about my bladder cancer and had a scope done. And you guys will be thrilled to know that I am still cancer-free. So I'm really excited. It was a relief. I don't know why at this halfway point in my treatments, I was really nervous going in. My blood pressure didn't show it. I mean, I had really low blood pressure yesterday, but I was really nervous. I couldn't even sleep the night before. But everything's good right now. So I'm going to be going and having my treatments for this next quarter starting on October 21st. So there you go. So they're putting me in Thursdays, so I won't be missing my live streams, but I've got about a month before I start my next set of treatments. This allows my body to continue to heal before they start the treatments. So anyway, but I'm really excited that that's the case. I hate doing these treatments, but if all goes well, according to the doctor yesterday, and I'm still cancer-free after the next treatment. I still have 2 more sets of maintenance treatments after that. I should be done with maintenance treatments by the beginning of May, if all goes well. I still have to have 1 more scope after that to make sure everything's still cancer-free, but that would be the last of my treatments at that point. So, and unless things change. So I'm really excited that I don't have to do that anymore in next summer. So I'll actually have a better summer, hopefully, than I did this summer. So anyway, hope you guys are doing great. I have only one, well, it's almost finished project to show you. I have a couple things I can show you, but this one is almost finished. I think I showed this to you guys before, that I was knitting Christmas stockings for my family. And I'm just doing a crocheted edge across the top of this one. I don't know if you guys can see the crocheted edge before I block it and finish weaving in all the ends. I'm going to do a crocheted edge and then a hanger for the stocking, but these are Christmas stockings. I definitely need to block it, so it's going to look really kind of funny. But this is for my new son-in-law. This will be on the first time he'll have a stocking. These are knitted. And the cool thing about this pattern, I got this pattern off of Etsy, and I can't remember the name of the pattern. But the pattern did not have the names at the top. But the cool thing about the pattern is what I knit on are mix and match. So I picked Christmas trees and dog paw prints because he's very much loves his dog, and then little snowflakes. But then all of our stockings are going to have the same foot on them. So that's what's going to tie them all together. So Bryce, because he doesn't have a stocking already in our home, I wanted to start with his. So this is almost done. I'm having a good time with these. These are, I mean, they're knitted, obviously, and this is a crochet live stream, but I wanted to show you guys because it's really a simple pattern. It's all stockinette if you haven't. And if you're interested in learning color changes, I'll see if I can find the name of the pattern and post it in a newsletter or something like that, so you guys know what's going on. But I just want to finish that top edge, and then hopefully this afternoon I'll block it. So I'm very excited to get that done. The other thing I've been working on, I was supposed to start the red, white, and blue project this week, but I've had a few little hiccups. So I probably won't be starting it till this afternoon or tomorrow morning. But I have been working on, for those of you who are not participating in my my crochet along, I am halfway through the Utsalady point crochet along shawl. This is the halfway point. I need to start decreasing, and I'll probably do that this weekend while I'm watching football. It's because I'd like to get this shawl done by next week. So that will be my football project. I found that last week I worked on it during watching football, and I had no problems with it. So hopefully everything will go well. I just saw that Renee said, "So glad to hear the good news." Thank you so much, Renee. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy that I am cancer-free as well. So that's great. And Kelly Presley, hi. Welcome. I don't know, have you popped in before listening? I don't recognize your name, but that doesn't mean anything because my brain gets fried every once in a while. So, but welcome to the live stream. Now I am, I don't know how many of you follow my blog at all, or I got my newsletter on Friday. Yeah, Friday I sent the newsletter. I am doing another little crochet along, and this one's a little different. I'm not going to show a final project yet because I need to rewrite the pattern, but the pattern is from like 1998, if I remember correctly, the date. It's something that I designed and worked on, but didn't release it until I never released it. So I'm using Red Heart Jumbo, Super Saver Jumbo. You guys can probably figure out what it's going to be when I'm done. The reason I picked the jumbo skeins is because I want to make at least 2 of them, and I want to make sure I had enough of the orange. This is the orange to actually complete the project. And I also chose the jumbo because I've never ever used the jumbo skeins. And this green, I like this green for other things. St. Patrick's Day is coming, Christmas is coming, so I can use this for other things as well. But the only place I could find the jumbo is on Amazon. So if you haven't been to my website at KarenHooley.com, if you go to, actually, I'm going to show you my website. I'm going to share the screen here just a sec. Let's do that one. There's my website. If you go to resources under here, and I'm going to talk about my website in just a second too, and you go to how to right here, you will see join me for our fall CAL. And there is my initial post. And just so you guys know, I have it up here as well. But these are affiliate links from Amazon. They'll show you where I purchased them. And I also linked them here as well. Right now, I mean, locally here, I don't know about you guys, but here in Washington State and all the box stores, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and Michael's, trying to get orange and green is almost impossible. So that's why I ordered from Amazon, because they had them in stock and I got them in 2 days. So that's what I did. So that's where I got the yarn, and I love the colors that are fall. And I also got some leaves to put in the background and stuff like that. So but what I'm going to be doing with this crochet along, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to post every week updates to the pattern. So I'll probably start this afternoon on this because I want to get the first update up and going with photos. And I'm going to show you partials of the completed project as I do them. And at the end of the crochet along, I will be cleaning up the pattern and photographing the final pieces. There might be video involved. I haven't decided if I'm going to video any of it yet. I want to make one before I decide on video, but at least I can do the step-by-steps. But once I clean up the pattern, I'll be offering it as a free pattern on my website. It might be a little delayed for the season, but I figured this is a good way for you guys to see how I do some design / cleanup kind of thing. So if you're interested in following along with that, you can go to my website and just make sure if you're subscribed to my newsletter, I will post the updates every 2 weeks in the newsletter. But every Tuesday until the project's done, the blog will be updated with this new pattern. And so I'm going to show you the screen here again really fast. I'm going to go to my homepage here really quick. And you probably noticed right up front that there's some new colors going on with my website. The website pretty much looks the same, but the colors, I'm getting ready to get the site ready for the new pattern club that I'm doing in December, or starting. I'm going to start promoting it in December. So I wanted to change the colors because I really was tired of that kind of teal color, and blues are really my favorite color. But one of the things that happened over this last weekend is first of all, I did upgrade the website to a new hosting company. And so I don't know if you guys noticed, but everything's faster now. Everything loads so much faster than it did before. Can you guys see how quick that is? I don't think I have any classes listed right now. But yeah, so everything's loading so much faster. I've updated my calendar, so all the live streams are there. The Utsalady Point crochet along is listed there as well. And what's nice is I've got all of the Team Whooleygan lives listed on the website. And what I'll do is if I have to cancel one for any reason, if it's not showing here on the calendar, you'll see that it's gone. That you'll know for sure if I am not able to do the live streams. But anyway, so the other thing I wanted to mention is that if you're an international customer, whether you're watching live or you're watching after the fact, The cart updates that I had to do had some issues, and I'm going to be looking for a new plugin for international shipping. For some reason, it was charging really, really, really horrible rates for international customers for shipping. And so I had to get rid of the plugin that I was using. And right now, what I'm asking all my international customers to do is, if you're purchasing a physical book, not PDFs and digital products, you can still use the shopping cart for it. That's not an issue. But if you actually want a physical book or you want a physical pattern, you need to contact me. And I have a link up here to my contact form. And you can, I can create a order for you in the system with the correct shipping cost. So you don't have to be like, oh my gosh, Karen's gouging me with the shipping. The other thing I wanted to show is, because I was talking about the blog posts, always at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see recent posts, and here's all the information, all the recent posts. So like yesterday's post about the crochet along is right here. You can always click on the photo and it will send you to the site. The other thing you're going to notice is that all the hyperlinks on my website are now hot pink, because I wanted something that really showed up, and I could not find a blue color or a gray color that looked good, that was readable. So I used hot pink to do all of the fun little hyperlink things. So that's getting started. This homepage is going to change a little bit once I get ready for the launch. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is what I'm working on. So hopefully that all makes sense. Anybody have any questions about that? I see some people posted. Oh, you're my first live. That's great. Welcome, Kelly. I'm glad you're here and listening with us. Let's see. All is well. Yes. Thanks, Linda. I appreciate it. You see a pumpkin patch? Yep. Well, I'll tell you, it is definitely pumpkin related, what I'm doing. So, and the doc started prayers for the next visit. Okay. Oh, okay. So, yep. Everything's good. So I'm doing well. And so there you go. What else was I going to talk about today? Okay, so I did that. I'm going to stop sharing that screen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about. Oh, in case you guys are interested in the Utsalady point, this shawl that I'm working on and getting the pattern. I'm using Noro Sonata, which is a cotton, viscose, polyamide, silk blend yarn, obviously from Noro. I do have a link where you can go and purchase this yarn, or find out where you can purchase this yarn and see all the colorways. It's been a fun project. Noro is notoriously known for scratchy yarns, but the Sonata with the silk and being cotton instead of wool, it's so soft. It is so soft. It's a little bit of a thick and thin yarn, but it's great. It's great to work with. So I wanted you guys to know about that yarn. Okay. Good morning, Stephanie. It's no worries. You can pop in anytime. I'm glad you're here, though. Good morning. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about another thing. You guys know I closed my survey, my planning survey that I do every year on Monday. And I want to share a screen with you because I've got all the updates. And I thought it would be kind of fun for you guys to see. Oh, yay. Andrea, great. Awesome. Okay, so make sure you post a picture in the group, in the folder for the finished I have a photo album for the finished products so that you can be entered into the giveaway. So make sure you do that. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Juanita. Good morning. It's good to see you here. I'm glad you're here. I didn't see you pop in there. Okay, so you guys, for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that I do a planning survey every year. I just completed it. I closed it on Monday, and I didn't have as many people as I was hoping to respond. Usually I have a couple hundred or more that actually respond. This time around, I only had, let me just bring it up here really fast. I only had 64 people, which I don't know if it was timing. I don't know if it was the type of questions I was asking. I don't know why people didn't complete it. But I only had 64 this year, and usually it's well over 200, if not more. But I've got some interesting things I want to talk about. But usually, what I do is I do the planning, and then I always use this book, Map Your Business. This is how I decide what I'm going to do for the following year and how I'm going to map it out so that it runs smoothly. A lot of people tell me I'm extremely organized, and mostly it's because I use tools like mapping, what my year is going to look like. This year kind of got a little out of whack because of my cancer diagnosis. So, but I'm hoping now that I have a plan with the cancer diagnosis and being cancer free now, that things won't go so out of whack like this last year. And the pandemic causing the year before, 2020, was horrible. Everything I had to redevelop the entire year for 2020. So anyway, so I wanted to share with you some of the results I had from the survey. So let me pull my survey up here really fast. There it is. Okay, so this was a totally anonymous crochet, survey. So I have no idea, except for one person who told me at the end that who she was, because she felt like it wasn't necessary for her to tell me that she was anonymous. But out of all the responders, all but 2 people were newsletter subscribers, which I found interesting because usually most of my followers on Instagram and Facebook are followers on my newsletter. And this is the one that I really thought was interesting because I'm most active on Instagram, and only 46%, almost 47% of the followers follow me on Instagram, but 53% follow me on Facebook. So I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend here of who's following me where, and Facebook seems to be the winner. I mean, not that Instagram has a bad percentage. It's just that I honestly thought, based on numbers and who responds to me on Instagram, that I had a bigger following on Instagram that was subscribed to my newsletter. So that's really interesting for me. And honestly, I thought more than 50% of my followers followed me on YouTube. And that was another one that was really interesting to see. And following me on Rumble, this was fully expected because Rumble is such a new platform. Even though I've got a lot of followers there, not a lot of those people are newsletter subscriber type people. So that was really interesting to me. Anybody have any comments on that? Just so that you guys, I'm going to be popping in and out just out of the chat room just to see that. Okay, so video. You guys obviously like video because you come and watch me on live stream, whether you're at work like Kelly is, and I know there's a couple other people here that follow me, or you're retired, or you're stay-at-home mom, or whatever it is. Most of you like video. So I usually kind of group the sometimes and the yes together. So I would say a good majority like to use video in some form or another, whether it's all the time or sometimes. And mostly because people are saying they like to see the techniques, or they like to see the person who's speaking, which I like that too. So that's kind of what the answers were. You also get the audio and the visual if I'm doing a little how-to kind of thing. So that I thought was interesting. I only have 4 people who said they don't like video at all. And I thought this was interesting. That very first answer of the videos I've watched, the majority start with music, which is distracting. And then the music continues through the whole video. And the person starts the introduction, which takes forever. And then the real video starts. So I understand that. And that's why I try not to do music that much at the beginning. I never, ever have music going through any of my how-to videos. If you have ever watched any of my how-to videos, you'll notice that sometimes I will have like a little mini introduction where I say, hey, look, this is what we're talking about today. And I do have like a 7-second clip of my logo with some music. And then I launch right into the video. Now I do usually do an introduction before, explaining, like if I'm talking about, I did videos on the foundation stitches, and I show you what the difference is looking at them before we actually start to learn how to do them, and why one is better than the other, or why you'd want to use one and then why you'd want to use the other, that kind of thing. But I don't usually try to do nonsense chatting kind of thing. And I never have music going through my instructions. I'm one of those people who feels like I need to be talking through it, not just showing you. And I know there's a lot of non-English speaking videos out there, people who do videos out there, non-English speaking. And so they just put music on and they show you their hand motions. And for me, that's just distracting. And I have to agree with that. So I'm starting to put closed captioning on all my videos for those who have hearing impairments. And if someone has ever asked me to translate it, which I haven't had happen yet, but I would look into what it would take to translate my videos as well. So those are just a couple things I wanted to note about why people don't like video and what I won't be doing. Anybody have any thoughts on video and why people don't like video? You liked it. It does feel like a visit. It does feel like a visit. And sometimes, and what I'm learning with the pandemic is that a lot of people want to have a face, or at least a voice to talk to that's talking to them, because they're stuck at home a lot, especially people who have been ill or can't leave or can't be vaccinated or whatever it is. And for me as a designer, I can't do live events right now, or teachers. I can't do live events. So making these videos has been really, really cool for me, especially these live streams. So I just wanted to talk about that really fast. So now let me go back to there we go. The camera's covering where I need to click on my screen. It's interesting that reading pictures and looking at pictures. And a lot of I know a lot of my followers are in the 45 to 65 range. And so I know a lot of those people are used to not having video. So they're used to taking a pattern book and reading the words and looking at the charts. So both of these, I can totally see if depending on what age range you're in. And okay. And then this last thing, I just thought these people who don't like video gave me some really good feedback. This last one saying that, there's too much introduction and buildup and not enough in the meat and potatoes part of the video. And I think that that's important to note. And so I hope that in the future, as I do more video, especially how-to videos and things like that, you won't see that kind of thing. And the sometimes people were interesting because people didn't understand, if Zoom is considered video. Yes, that is considered video, that kind of thing. But if people go too fast, if they have music, or they only use the video when instructions aren't clear. And that's totally, I get that too. And that's why some of my patterns now going forward now have video, because some people need that extra visual. And, a paper person, and not for crochet, but more academics. There's some comments that were kind of like, I have to throw them out because and also who depends on who's presenting. And that's really important to me too, that my instructions are clear and stuff like that. I was also interested, these two questions, if you like short videos or long videos, and the fact most of you like short videos compared to long videos. And I can include video like Craftsy and the Annie's classes that are out there as long videos, because they're broken up into chapters and they teach you, you can stop and start, but that, you have one topic like my Fair Isle class that's on Craftsy, how to do crochet Fair Isle. It's broken up into it's a 3-hour class, but it's broken up into chapters. So you can start and stop wherever you need to be to go ahead and continue watching. And then people, it was pretty almost in thirds, really, of who likes to take video classes from Craftsy or Annie, similar. And this was the one that really surprised me, is the Zoom classes, because it seems like Zoom classes are all over the place. And a good more than 1/3 of you don't like taking Zoom classes, which I thought was interesting. And the fact that you guys don't like subscribing to platforms like Craftsy or Annie's, that was interesting too. I mean, it's not a huge differential there, but most of you don't like subscribing, and a lot of people don't want to subscribe because of cost, or their technology isn't there, things like that. People like them for for specific purposes, which is where I'm going to be, is using videos more for learning specific purposes, like a difficult technique or approach. I mean, I will have some classes that'll be video coming up. People have asked me to do my sock class, my top-down sweaters class, as videos so that they can start and stop. And those are going to be things that are coming up the pike. There might be a couple other videos that I'll do as well. But I'll always, whenever I do a static video class, unlike Craftsy and Annie's, I will do either office hours, or I will do a Zoom call in the middle of the class if I only offer it during a certain period of time, that people can pop in and ask their questions and get some help. So just so you guys know. Yeah. And some people that are my overseas, I have a lot of overseas people who work with me as far as testing patterns and who are my customers. And I understand that they like to have video to be able to see some of the stuff because of the time changes. So those are kinds of things. Now, we talked about podcasts last week, so I'm not going to go over that. The answers really didn't change much, but the big thing is that audio is listening only and video is actually seeing my face as I'm talking. And it seems like more people like video than they do audio, but it's not that big of a differential. So that's interesting. So I'm going to skip over that part. And then we talked about subscriptions. Now, subscriptions, I mainly was asking these questions about the Pattern Club. So most people, I think, when they saw my first question, are actually thinking about yarn of the month clubs, and that kind of stuff. And a good 3/4 of you almost don't like those. And it's usually price, or they don't like to commit, or they don't like being surprised. They want to have, they want to use their stash, that kind of thing. So they would rather have patterns only, or they'd rather collect patterns rather than yarn. And so that's when the interest in the Pattern Club jumped significantly to the positive of people wanting a Pattern Club. Now, I understand again that there's a cost involved for that and things like that. But I did ask about different ideas, and a lot of the things are like a lot of people wanted. 31% of the people want an option for a print pattern, which I still think is odd because we're in a digital era, but I understand where people want to be able to purchase a print pattern. And then a lot of people, actually, I had to adjust this question. When I first posted it, I spelled something wrong, so I had to adjust it. So I actually have 38 plus 2. So over 60% of you would like to have 3 months and then cancel. Let's see. No, I take that back. Having a monthly membership. I have 59% of you, almost, 59.5% would like a monthly membership. That was interesting. And then 40, so almost 50% would like a 3-month option. not very many wanted a 6-month option, but I got about 40% would like a full year at once. And normally when you do that, the price drops the more you pay, or more months you pay. So like, for example, if it was monthly at $20, if you paid for 3 months up front, you might get it for $18 a month. And if you paid for 6 months, you might get it for $15 a month. And then if you paid the full year up front, you might get it for $10 a month. So that's usually how those work. So I think that's what people were thinking. A lot of people, 46%, almost 47% would like a group forum to chat with other people. 39% want a Zoom call. Over 50, almost 58% want how-to videos, which I do for the most part anyway, which is cool. And then discounts on other patterns released, higher than the newsletter and on any Zoom classes. And the reason I have that question there is because if you're going to be paying monthly, let's say you're paying me monthly for this pattern club, I really think that if you honestly, giving me money every single month, you should have some other perks. Even if you do the full year at once, you're still paying me for all 12 months. So you'd probably, instead of a 25% discount, you'd probably get like 35 or 40%, depending on how my number crunching goes. So that would just be something that I would like to do. Now, here's the ones that I misspelled. But I have a lot of, I have, and would not participate, not interested, not familiar, which is interesting that someone did that in the quiz. They do not do shawls, which was not the question. Not interested, not interested, not interested. So might be hard to do. This was one that must have came up when I closed it. Might be hard to do, but I think a pattern club with specialized patterns, sock club, shawl club, garment club. Yeah, that's the theory behind what I'm doing, or some sort of, it may not necessarily be like a shawl club or, every year, or a hat club or something. It could be a once game project club 1 year or something like that too. Okay, and then they want to know if they were clothing. So the interesting part was that everybody thought that a reasonable price for all the things they asked for up at the top, more than almost 58% thought $10 a month for everything they asked for. Now that is hard for me. I'm going to have to go through individually and see what they asked for the $10, but $10 would be the least I would charge. The next percentage would have been $12 a month, which is, pretty, but depending on how many of those options, because you have to also remember, you're not just getting the pattern, you're getting my time. So that would be closer. And then there was just 2 that wanted 15, said 15, and 8 that said 20, which I thought was interesting because 20 is pretty high for a pattern club. I just threw that in there just to see what people thought. So that was interesting that was the 3rd highest. And then I asked about Patreon, because the other thing I have been thinking about is, instead of doing like $120 for $10 a month, $120 for a year, is doing it all monthly charges. So if you paid $10 a month, this is what you'd get. If you paid $20 a month, this is what you'd get. So it was interesting that there are not a lot of people use Patreon. I don't know if maybe people don't know what Patreon is, but it's usually paying an artist, kind of along the lines of Michelangelo and the ancient painters and artists and sculptors, where they would have somebody who paid them to continue working. So like Michelangelo had patrons who would give him money so that he could support himself, so he could do his sculpting and his painting. And that's a new thing that's been happening in our industry in the last few years. Most of you guys, almost 50% of you, are my intermediates. I have a few advanced, I have 7 professionals, and I have 1 beginner who took the survey. This one was interesting to me, is that the majority, the largest group of people like DK, which is the highest end of the weights that I do, then fingering, then worsted, and then baby sport weight. But nobody else liked the laces, or favorites anyway, were the laces and the bulkies. This is interesting. I asked people to write out United States, and a lot of people didn't do that, and they put US and United States of America. I didn't spell United States right. So I have a different screen here. I'm not going to put it up, but the majority of you are in the United States. So, and 95+% of you are English as your primary language. So it kind of gives me an idea of where you guys are all coming from. And I thought that this is really interesting information because you guys here were the first people to hear about this survey. And this survey was really skewed originally toward a video. And then all of a sudden, when I opened it up to my newsletter, it's changed, which was really odd for me. I'd never seen that happen before. So does anybody have any comments about what they saw here? I'm going to be doing a whole blog post on breaking this down and what it's telling me. Part of it is telling me that my newsletter subscribers are a totally different breed than my video followers, my Instagram followers, my Facebook followers, because my newsletter is mostly the people who answered this. And I don't know if I'm targeting the right people, guys. I mean, I know I'm targeting all of you who are watching right now, but can you guys give me some feedback here on what you think is going on with what I'm doing? Linda says she loves Zoom class. You feel like you're in class with friends. And that's exactly how I hope all my Zoom classes feel. I think that is important. So guys, any comments, concerns, questions, something you want to ask me about what that survey was all about, what people were asking for, what you're seeing in the industry? I mean, you guys are the crocheters. You're the ones buying patterns, watching videos, buying books, going to classes. What are you seeing that you like and don't like? I really thought, because you guys are the ones who really connect with what I do. So I thought I'd ask you guys what you thinking. And the fact that this is totally anonymous, I can't go back and ask people questions about their answers, which is great for a lot of reasons, but it's also when there's something that people are asking me in these comments and I can't go back and say, well, what are you asking me? That's hard. So anybody have comment? I'd love to hear your comments. Or do you guys even care? That's fine too. If you guys don't even care. It helps me hearing what you guys want and what you guys are telling me helps me direct my business and what I'm doing and what I'm offering you. Because my goal as a designer and a teacher and an author is to serve my customers first. That's the most important thing to me, that you guys get what you want. So you're going to see a lot of new little things coming out because people are asking me for things. Like, for example, the gal who asked me, who has a hearing impediment, asked me to start closed captioning my how-to videos. So I've been doing that. I haven't been doing that with these live streams because it's just too costly to do a good one. I mean, I have to send it to a different company, and they I give them, like my name, I spell my name correctly and all that kind of stuff. And that costs a little bit for anything over an hour or anything over 10, 15 minutes. It's really expensive. It's like $70 for one video. But my short ones I can do for under 10. So I don't mind doing that. But I'm curious what people think, that kind of thing. And that's why I did, the closed captioning, because I have a customer who loves my patterns, but can't listen to my videos and needs to be able to read them. She can see my hands moving, but she can't understand what I'm saying. So the closed captioning has helped. And I want to serve her, because she likes my patterns. She's a good customer. And that's the way I feel about all of you. So I want you guys to get what you're looking for in crochet. And Linda, I care. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. but that's the most important thing to me, is that the customers that I have, that you're getting what you want, whether it's easy to read patterns that look complicated but really aren't. If you need help, you've got me to come to and help you with your problems. The only thing I won't do with the pattern is resize it for somebody. I mean, that's going above and beyond. I mean, that's something that I recommend taking classes for. If you need to change the size of a sweater, or you want something that in the sweater that I didn't design, that's up to you. But if you're having trouble reading the pattern, or your gauge is off, or you need help with understanding how the stitches are put together, or how I even sewed a sweater together, or how I created this shawl or cat or gloves or whatever it is, I want you to be able to understand the pattern, and I want you to be successful. And I think that's the thing that my nonna taught me when she taught me to crochet, is that the important thing is that I'm successful at it. That I was successful at, crocheting baby sweaters for my cousins when they were having babies, that I was successful when I was learning Italian lace. I mean, she made me rip a lot of things out. I'll be honest with you. But you'll notice as a teacher, especially if you're in my beginner classes, that I won't make you rip things out unless it's really going to distort the pattern. But I will, and I want you to learn from your mistakes. So especially beginners, I will, their stitches are all tight, or they lose a stitch as they're making just single crochets across, learning how to do single crochets. I'll let them keep going, because then they can see where they were when they started and now where they're at. So that's important to me. So anybody, comments, care, questions? It's been a busy week for me. That appointment yesterday kind of threw, I mean, as good news as it was, it just kind of, I was so stressed about it that when I came home, I did almost nothing. So I didn't really prepare for today, other than wanting to talk about the survey. So if you guys have questions for me about anything else, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And let's, if you guys questions about if you're doing the crochet along, if you are working on one of my patterns, and anything about the industry, anything to do with crochet. If you have a question for me, let me know. Let me know. Oh, what I can tell you is I got some of my photos back for the patterns that are going to be part of the pattern club. And I am so excited. I cannot wait for you guys to see these patterns. I'm so excited. The patterns are great, but when you see them on, and the shawl is beautiful, or the project is beautiful when you see it in person, but when you see it on a model who's actually showing it off, it makes a huge difference. So I can't wait for you guys to see these. So any questions? I've still got about 13 minutes or so. I did a lot of talking. I'm surprised, because I don't usually talk that much. I take that back. Yes, I do. I'm going to be doing some other crochet alongs this fall and early winter as well. I don't know if you can see behind me, right? This blue right here, these two blues. That's going to be a project for the holidays that I'm going to be doing on video and in my blog. So I'm excited to show you guys that. That's an old pattern of mine too. That's super easy. And I want it to be something that if someone who has never crocheted before can actually do it. So it's something that I used to teach at my local yarn shop that I haven't done in years. So I'm really excited to show that off. And I'll be talking more about that in the future. But I gotta get going on this guy first. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing I'm going to be doing, and I know a lot of you love blankets. I have a lot of customers who email me and say, when are you going to release another blanket pattern? And I have a couple baby blanket patterns that I want to revamp as well. So those will be happening. I went in a deep dive into my hard drive last week at the request of a couple people who I'm working with just for marketing purposes. And I found over I want to say over 100, 110 patterns from my past that either A, never got released either by me or anybody else, or they were released for maybe a couple years as free patterns on my website, and then either the yarns went out of date or it wasn't in fashion anymore, or I just needed to update the way it was written. So you guys are going to be seeing a lot of things that all come up and say, hey, I wrote this in 1999 and it hasn't seen the light of day since 2003, and I thought you guys would like to try this. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that, whether it's just offering the pattern for free or doing something like I'm doing with this fall pattern, crochet along type of thing, or you watching me redevelop it on my blog. So those are the kind of things. Stephanie says, I pre-ordered the Harry Potter Advent Kit. Will you be doing a crochet along? No. I won't be doing that one this year because, again, I mentioned this last week with the, oh no, I mentioned this in the Zoom call, but the two patterns that I did for Forbidden Fiber, the Halloween one and the Harry Potter, I have given them time to have the pattern exclusive just for the kits. So that particular pattern, I believe, is going to be released in July. Hang on. There's my calendar for next year. Okay. So next year I'm releasing the Pattern Club is going to have one pattern a month for 12 months, and that is subscription only. I will release the patterns individually after the subscription period is over. So I haven't decided if it's going to be, if the January pattern will be released in February for the general public, or if I'm going to give it a 2-week span, or how I'm going to do that yet. But those patterns are going to be, the subscribers are going to get them first, then I'll release them to the general public. But then on top of the Pattern Club, I have 6 patterns that are going to be released in January, March, May, July, September, and November. And the Harry Potter one is going to be released in July. So maybe I'll do a crochet along for then. I don't know. I'm going to try to do 3 crochet alongs next year. That's my goal. I have to do some planning, and I have to do some, but that's in my thought process right now. 2 that you know the pattern of, and 1 mystery. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Now, whether I can pull that off, we'll see. But that's what I would like to do. Renee is asking, when does the fall crochet along begin? Next week. Actually, it started on yesterday. So yesterday, I have all the information about what you need to do it with me. And then next Tuesday, so every Tuesday, I'm going to do a new post of partial of the pattern. I won't be necessarily posting the entire pattern on my blog, but I'll be doing like little pieces of it. If I do a video, I'll explain how to keep going if you want to do it along with me. But once the crochet along is done, and I'm thinking that it's going to be this past Tuesday, which is all the what you need, and then 3 posts for how to do it. So if I do that, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So the 12th of October would be the last post. And then hopefully by the end of that week, which is the 15th. Yeah. The 15th, I had to look at my calendar. On the 15th, I will post the free pattern in its entirety. I do need to get it tech edited and charted. So the original free pattern may not have everything. So once I get the tech edits, everybody who downloads the free pattern will get the updated free pattern if that doesn't happen. So does that answer your question, Renee? I hope. Anybody else have questions? I'm really excited about this. I mean, it's a very simple, it's a worsted weight project. It's done in box store yarn. I'm not a huge fan of the box store yarns. In fact, somebody posted on my Instagram, I think last night or this morning, about how one of their pet peeves, because I mentioned to another customer that I try to always have as few ends as possible to weave in. There is a pattern coming up later this year that's going to have a lot of ends, and that's just unavoidable. But I usually try to do as few ends as possible. And she mentioned that if you get a yarn that has a lot of knots, then you're going to have a lot more yarn, a lot more ends to weave in. And yes, that's true. And that's why I kind of avoid the box store yarns a lot lately. You'll notice all my patterns are done with either indie dyers or yarns that you can find in a higher end yarn shop, like Barocco yarns or Knitting Fever yarns, Noro, Juniper Moon, Ella Ray. I use a lot of those yarns because those manufacturers tend to have less knots. But one thing I should mention is I know with Red Heart, and it used to be with Karen Yarns before Yarnspirations bought them. And I don't even know now that Yarnspirations owns Red Heart too. I don't know if this is the case anymore. But if you have a hank of yarn or a skein of yarn that you bought, especially at the box stores, you can go to the manufacturer's website if you find that that skein has a ton of knots or even just one knot in a really weird place. And they'll replace the yarn for you. I used to do that with Karen Yarns all the time, because Karen Yarns, when they were their own company, I used to get Simply Soft and for designing for magazines even, and knots everywhere. And so I would just go on the website and I'd contact the company and they would send me a new skein. So, and Red Heart used to do that. And Bernat used to do that. Bernat is still owned by the same company that they used to. They've always been, but Yarnspirations kind of bought up all of the box store yarns except for Lion Brand, it seems like. So, and then all the individual stores like Michael's has their, loops and something. And, Hobby Lobby has their own yarn. The box store yarns like Michael's company and Hobby Lobby's company, and I think Joann's even has their own line now too. I don't know how those work, but I do know that it used to be, at least with Red Heart and Karen Yarns for sure, and Bernat did too, that you could get replacement skeins if you had too many knots or even just one knot. I mean, I know people who had asked for a single knot that was in the middle of a hank of their skein of yarn. Now with the indie dyers and the larger yarn companies, the more higher end yarn companies like Barocco or Knitting Fever, you will get a knot every once in a while, but they're not as prolific with that at all. In fact, I can't remember the last time I had a skein of Barocco yarn that had a knot in it. Noro, I haven't had a knot in it at all anywhere. So that's just something to think about. I mean, if you're working with Red Heart, get on the Yarnspirations website and get their contact customer service and see what they'll do for you, especially if you have more than one knot. So definitely check that out. Any other things, guys? Oh, Renee, you're welcome. I'm glad that answered your question. Anybody else have a question for me? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my closing, and then I'll come back to the chat room and see how you guys are doing, if there's any other questions that come up. For those of you who are watching after the fact, thank you very much for watching my live stream. Make sure you check out my website at KarenWhooley.com. Everything about me is there. And while you're at that website, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. The link right here below is for the direct link to the subscription form. But at the bottom of every page of my website, there is a subscription form as well. If you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you check it out. That's my YouTube channel there. Make sure you subscribe and that you hit the thumbs up button on this video. That helps me be seen in the algorithm a little bit more. So I appreciate that. If you're watching on Rumble, or you're not watching on Rumble, this is my Rumble channel. My Rumble channel has grown well past my YouTube channel. I cannot live stream to Rumble, but I always upload these videos directly to Rumble as soon as I'm done. You can also follow me on Instagram at Karen Whooley. I will be more active going forward on this for the next few weeks until I start my therapy, and then I might slow down again a little bit. My maintenance treatments for my cancer, but this is where I am the most active. And if you're not watching on Facebook, make sure you do check out my Facebook page, Karen Whooley Official. I am starting to get a little more active there. I won't ever have a group there, but I am getting a little more active on Facebook. So make sure you check that out and make sure you follow me there. Okay, guys. So I see there's a comment. So let me just pop over. No question. Just thank you. Enjoy seeing my crochet friends. I miss my crochet friends so much. And Andrea, I used to see you almost once a year for a long time. So going to CGOA events. So I miss that. I miss seeing all my friends. So I'm glad you're here joining me on the lives. I know I tend to kind of go on and on, but that's what I do on these things. Being at home just with my husband, I have nobody to talk crochet with. At least my kids understood what I was talking about. And not that my husband doesn't listen to me, but he doesn't get it. So having these live streams has been amazing. Linda says, love this visit. I'm glad you guys, you loved it. I'm glad you were here. So I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast, guys. So hope you guys have a great week. Make sure you check out the crochet along next week. This crochet along. If you're following me or if you're doing the Utsalady point, I will see you Monday. And if you're not going to do either, I will see you next Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye, y'all.